Welcome everybody, Star Flag Media. We are back. Oh my God, 2 weeks in a row. It's like the old days.
Giggity.
Giggity. Um, how's it going, man? How was your week?
Man, we tiring as hell, man. But can't complain. It's we moving forward, moving along.
Yes, sir. I know you found out some shocking truths and conspiracies we talked about, and yeah, now we're here, and but yeah, anyway, we're only we're only a few days away, man. A few days away from a major launch.
That's
Switch
right. Switch
Switch
Tuesday.
2 is right around the corner, man. Walmart
Yeah.
put up already all their signage. Target said that they're going to have additional stock on June 6th. So the day after, they're getting another shipment. So they're going to have back to back craziness 2 days in a row. I feel bad for the staff.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the staff because it's going to be madhouse, especially that second
Might
day
be the it
when the
might be the
ang-
PS5 all over again.
when the angry ones don't get the day one consoles and they come back the next day and they don't get it again.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some interesting YouTube videos, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
We were talking about Nintendo's $80 video game standard and how we're not like and how we're definitely in the minority about understanding why their prices are going to be $80 for certain games because they provide quality.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Borderlands 4. I don't know if you saw what the Borderlands 4 boss said.
Yeah, he basically said it wasn't him that's making it's not his call.
It's not his call, but then he also said a real fan of Borderlands would pay $80 for the games.
Mm.
Here's the full tweet on X. A is not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working a minimum wage job at an ice cream parlor and in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. So
Yeah, you can't
he
do that for your fans, man.
he's not wrong. However, it is so out of touch,
Yeah.
with marketing and your fan base. Like you're like that's craziness. Like if somebody is struggling out there and they're a real fan,
Yeah.
they're looking at that. They're not happy anyway. So the internet's exploded over that
Yeah,
comment.
I listened to this YouTuber called Reforge. He said he played the hell out of the first two Borderlands. Because apparently I guess the third one was trash. Is
Okay,
but
I
he
don't
said he
know.
played he's I don't know either. But he said he played the first two Borderlands. He said he put mad hours in it. And then he was saying that he don't see it being an $80 game. He said it's like the value that you will get out of it, the hours that you could put in. And he
Right.
says, yeah, I put in a lot of hours, but it's not that many hours. It's not like
Maybe
he
he's not a
compared
real
it to
fan.
no, he says he's a big fan, but he said it's not like Zelda Red Dead Redemption 2 amount of time that you could put in there. Like it's not like it's you could put in some time, but
Mm,
you're not really gonna you can't put in all that time.
right.
So
Um, after our resident Kotaku woke our woke guy went in there talking about how crappy the economy is, and he got into a politics version of this. But he did say for 37 million Americans there isn't an extra $20 to be spent on this game. And then he breaks down how poverty for an individual is $15,000 a year. Let me tell you something though, to combat that argument. If you're only making 15 grand a year,
you shouldn't be playing video games.
video games is a hobby. It is
Yeah.
not a necessity, and it's a very expensive hobby. You wouldn't uh you wouldn't think that a person who is into remodeling classic cars is making $15,000 a year
Yeah.
as a hobby, because that's a very expensive hobby, and gaming is no different. And if you're a PC gamer and you're into building PCs, that's an even upper tier echelon of how expensive gaming can be.
Yeah. Not
Um,
even that. It's just listen, crackheads don't have jobs, meth heads don't have jobs, but they still get high. They
They
figure
find
that shit out.
they find a way.
So you gonna let a crackhead and a meth head out hustle you to get what they want?
Now I'm I know people who used to have lawn chairs in their living room with a 65-inch LCD screen.
Oh,
I'm just saying, I've known people, so they made it happen.
they make it happen. Yeah, they gonna make it happen.
They make it happen, and they had their Xboxes and they had their Nintendos and the PlayStations, and we sat there in lawn chairs and played it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because he made it happen.
yeah. We just gonna as a gamer. If you really want the game, you gonna make it happen.
If anybody out there knows who a person like that, leave a comment below. Anyway,
Now,
they reached out. They reached out, and he backtracked. The Gearbox CEO said, "In seriousness, no. Because what happened was somebody put that comment into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT spit out like how out of touch this person was."
yeah,
And then they retweeted it to the Gearbox president, and he goes, "Wow, is that what I sound like?" And he goes, "My bad, but in all seriousness, though, nobody likes being taken granted for. It was not my intent." Then seemingly without irony, he goes on. He goes, "I'm humbled by the love and support everyone has shown the team as we push hard to get this amazing game in your hands." This sounds like a PR person wrote this out for him. Like, yeah.
So
So love and support.
what up with Xbox? Didn't they kind of misstep with the raising the prices of their consoles because of the tariffs?
Yeah. I mean,
Right before
Xbox.
Sony launches a sale?
Yeah, Xbox stole. Well, Sony's launching a sale here in America, but they raised the price of the PlayStation 5 in 20 countries,
Yeah.
and they blamed it on tariffs. Tariffs in other countries, for some reason, are affected by what we're doing here. Anyway,
But I heard
whatever
so I
that
don't know
means.
what this is, but I heard Sony amassed a lot of stock of consoles in preparation for this sale in the United States.
Nintendo did
So
the same for the launch because they heard these tariffs were coming.
yeah,
They switched production over to Vietnam on purpose, and then
yeah,
they stockpiled it in warehouses here.
yeah.
Um,
So
Xbox is, the thing with the Xbox is they weren't moving inventory.
exactly.
Period. They weren't selling consoles. So any consoles that are on the manufacturing plant, there's no reason to stockpile them because they may not sell. So they know what they sell per week and per month. They trickle them out as they sell. Now, when stock is low, they have no choice but to raise their prices because they really are going to be eating these tariffs. But
Yeah.
I got something even bigger that is going to affect them, and this is interesting. We talked about the ROG Ally Xbox handheld that's coming out, the Xbox themed handheld. Well,
Yep.
Microsoft reportedly has paused development on their in-house Xbox handheld. And this comes from Windows Central Project Keenan, which is like the actual handheld. It says, for the better part of the last 2 decades, Microsoft Gaming Phil Spencer has confirmed that there was an Xbox prototype in the past, and none of which made it out to development. Earlier this year, Xbox President Sarah Bond suggested Microsoft's next home console will have the largest technical leap in Xbox history. But for now, Microsoft has yet to disclose any details about that system. Now, when it comes to the handheld side of things, their in-house project is dead as of now. They are not going to be making a dedicated handheld. And I think 2 things. One, if you're making these third parties already make these handhelds,
You don't need
they're doing the heavy lifting.
Yep.
2, if this is going to have Steam integration anyway, then you might as well let the other companies make it again. Because now this thing is going to play, if the next Steam Deck plays Xbox Game Pass and it has Steam on it, and the next ROG Ally is running Windows in the background and it has Steam on it, they're just basically throwing money away at this point. And the interview that I posted a video about Peter Moore said if Microsoft could stop making hardware, they would. They're a little too deep into the system. They're 25 years deep into the console systems and hardware, and they have a dedicated fan base. So they have to slowly wean them out of it. But he said if they could exit and just make software and put a game on every single television out there that's able to stream a game, they would absolutely do that.
Yep.
And Peter Moore is the king of killing consoles. He did it to the Dreamcast. And then he went and worked for Microsoft. And now he went to work for Electronic Arts. This man knows how to shut down things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so yeah, no dedicated handheld, first party handheld from Microsoft.
I mean, I would have liked to see it, but
I think they also took a look at those sales, man. They were like,
I'm not too familiar with the Steam Deck and the ASOG, ROG, and all that type of stuff. But
yeah,
if I heard that running Windows limits your battery performance.
Yeah.
So
and Steam has Steam OS.
Yeah.
So that helps. But I think they also looked at the sales, and they were like, so there's already a market out there that basically is the PC handheld is dominated by Steam, and that only sold 4 million units.
Yeah, if they could spend resources optimizing or helping to optimize whoever's going to manufacture and produce it, that's probably what they.
Yeah, so this thing, it's got to sell. It's going to be hella expensive, so they're probably going to have to sell it at a loss. And then they're looking at the actual sales of these consoles, and they're looking at like, is it even worth it? I think it's not worth it.
Switch 2 is going to kill it.
Like the Switch 2 is gonna dominate the market again. And when you're looking at the Steam Deck, 4 million systems is not a lot.
Nope.
It's a small number. And I think that all of the other companies combined it's just 2 million. Every other company combined sells. So total PC handheld market is 6 million units with every single company that makes it. That's nothing. Now you look at the Switch sold 155 million consoles. It's not even close.
Yeah, you need a Steam Deck 2 would have to run as well as the Switch or a little bit better, and then you got to think about where you're going to price it at. And
it can't be so heavy. It's bulky.
Yeah, you got to hit a sweet spot, and I don't think that the Steam people have the money dedicated to the R&D, like how Nintendo has the R&D.
I don't know. I think it comes down to components. Steam is not the first time they put out a console. They had the Steam machine before. I think that they are trying to gauge if the PC audience is willing to make the jump to a dedicated platform. But PC Master Race, right? They refuse. They refuse. And it's ironic that some of them did jump onto the Steam Deck's, ballsack and jump on their nuts and be like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever, when really it's the lowest of the lowest PC specs you could possibly get.
Yep, and they paid over $800 for it and talk shit about the PS5 Pro price and
running on 720p low settings and hoping that Cyberpunk we saw the video I put up with Cyberpunk on the site running on Steam Deck and running on Switch 2. It's night and day. It's night and day. But yeah, so Microsoft's handheld is gone. It's a done deal. Something else I want to talk about. Mouse controls. We know that the Switch 2 is going to support the Joy-Cons as mice, right? Well, it also, through the USB port, will support USB mouse control. So any game that's programmed to use the Joy-Cons as mouse, will you be able to use any USB-C mouse and stick it into the port and play with it on the Switch 2 as well. So
That'd
get ready
cool.
for a lot of PC ports.
Yeah. As long as there's like no lag and lag delay, input delay, should be all right.
Yeah, I mean, if for a game like Civ, for example, when I played with the controller and then I went keyboard and mouse, this game was just made for a mouse. You
Yeah.
just move around the map and click and do everything.
I wish I had the Switch. Alex brought it here today, then he forgot it, so I brought it back to him. But if there's a game that I wish I could just play in my bed, it'd be Switch. It'd be Civ 6 or Civs.
Gotcha. Yeah, Civs. Civ 7 is coming on Switch 2. It's already available on the Switch 1, and if you have it on Switch 1 and you pay the $10 upgrade, you will be able to get it with the updated graphics and all the goodies with mouse control and all that. PS5 is getting a rare game is skipping PlayStation 5. So we all know that Warhammer made Space Marine, the new Space Marine 2.
Yep.
That came out on everything. Well, the original Space Marine is getting a 4K remaster, and weirdly enough, Sega is publishing the game and chose to put it out on PC, Xbox Series X and S, but skipping the PS5 for some reason. No reason given, but I found that really weird.
You probably got Microsoft.
Yeah, but it's a Sega game, and it is definitely going to be on Game Pass as well. So maybe they did get paid by Microsoft, but this isn't one of those games where I would see Microsoft even needing to. People aren't running to go play Space Marine 1 in 4K when the new one just came out.
I mean, you never know. Maybe they're working on a PS5 Pro version. I don't know. PC, maybe a launch. Is it launching on PC too or no?
Yeah, PC, Xbox Series.
They just hit PlayStation.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one. It's this one. That's why it stuck out to me, and I wanted to talk about it just because it's so unusual. Usually, if you're gonna skip a system, you obviously Nintendo and then probably Xbox.
Yeah,
you wouldn't lock out PlayStation for some reason. Anyway, yeah, Space Marine remaster in 4K. If you guys like those games, you can get it on Game Pass day one, Steam and Xbox apparently.
It's fun to speculate.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one.
The last deal went wrong, and now they said we're not going to put it there. So he's
Sega said F that. Yeah, I wonder what somebody at Sega said no. Not this one. Screw them. Yeah, it's weird.
Wait till Sonic come around.
As of May 21st, 2025, PlayStation is no longer going to be supporting their loyalty program. I'm guessing nobody used it. You know how Nintendo had like their My Nintendo?
I liked it.
Okay, well, so apparently as of May 21st, it's no longer accepting any new members, and anyone who leaves the program won't be able to rejoin. And then on July 23rd, 2025, all PlayStation Stars campaigns, additional rewards, and existing benefits will cease.
Okay. So I gotta use
any remaining points will be wiped out by November 2nd. Yeah. I guess there's no. I'm reading the article. There's no real reason that they named for it, but I'm assuming many people probably didn't use it.
They probably didn't know. Whenever you buy a game or you spend money, you do a transaction on your PlayStation. Right. They give you stars towards your PlayStation account. Right.
It's like the My Nintendo coins for those of you out there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like the coins. So one day the Call of Duty, they brought back Verdansk, and everyone's so hyped and shocked. And I was like, oh, they got a whole bunch of new skins and all this type of stuff. So I was like, hold on, the Battle Pass. I ain't really had the money to. Well, I had the money, but I didn't want to spend the money. So I was like,
skins.
Let me check these rewards. And I had like, I put in the group chat, maybe 13 or 18,000 points. Man, I cashed them points in for PlayStation vouchers, and
free money.
Each voucher I got, it was free money, and then I converted that to Activision Call of Duty tokens. And guess what? I got more stars for using it that way. And it was just stars on top of stars. And I looked at it right now. I looked at it yesterday, and I have I got a free $6. Free $6. So I could buy a $5 PSV card, PlayStation card now.
Hey, $5 is $5, man. So yeah, so that program's ending. The old My Nintendo program was so dope. You can collect your platinum coins, and then at the end of the year, if you had enough platinum coins, you could get like a physical gift from Nintendo. They'd ship you some like a cool
Yeah.
statue or posters or calendars. And then when Reggie Fils-Aimé left the company, that shit ended immediately. And they were like, "Oh, you can trade it in for crappy wallpapers and for your
Yeah.
computer, and just really garbage stuff." But anyway, so yeah, if you enjoyed PlayStation Stars, you have until November 26th of 2026 to use up all your points. You will not be able to join as of now, and yeah, use them up or lose them. Use them or lose them.
Yeah. They got the DLC for Sonic Frontiers up there for 3,000 points.
If anybody out there likes Sonic Frontiers, leave a comment below. He doesn't watch this shit.
No, but it's true though. I seen it for 3,000. I was like,
I know somebody who might like this. So Switch 2 being around the corner, right? We've seen some really weird people selling pre-orders and different types of things. And one of the shadiest things that can be done by a store is forcing you to buy the crappiest bundle ever, where they stick those plastic racing wheels and like the shittiest $20 game that launching with it, and they're like, "Oh, we're selling it all together for $800. If you really want one, this is the only way you're gonna get it at this store," because they want to tack on all the accessories. Well, in Japan, I didn't throw that number out there for no reason. There is an $800 Switch 2 bundle crammed with the camera, the carrying case, the plastic wheels, an extra controller, an extra charging thing for the Joy-Cons, an extra pair of Joy-Cons, screen protectors for $800. And guess what?
No game included.
No game included. It has the micro SD card. It's still sold out. Oh, and it wasn't even the Mario Kart bundle.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not shocked, man.
It's still sold out.
It launches this coming week, right?
Yeah, this coming week on the 5th. And it says this bundle is jam-packed, but it's actually priced higher than if you picked up all the accessories separately.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That apparently doesn't matter, though, as the bundle is currently sold out. Looks like $800 and a bunch of accessories isn't a high enough barrier for entry on some Nintendo's fans' wallets.
I can't wait to see all the people who were outraged at the price, and then at the price at the announcement,
holding the box in their hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna. Oh, Nintendo.
Here's my unboxing video on YouTube.
This is gonna be the end of Nintendo. They're charging too much for a Switch 2, and then watching that, and then watch the numbers. I can't wait to see the first month numbers and the first week and the first 3 days and all that type of shit.
It's gonna be bonkers. And now analysts are saying they could probably sell 20 million in a year. And Nintendo's original forecast was 15 million, but it looks like they actually are on pace of like manufacturing these things at a good clip.
Yeah.
And 20 million might not be out. 20 million in the first year would be, you consider it would be more than the entire Wii U's lifetime sales in the first year.
We love that Wii U, man.
It was a great system, but that's neither here nor there. Here's an article that I dug up today, which I totally agree with. It is saying that this is over at Kotaku again. The Switch 2 looks to be shaping up to be the port machine of the generation. So just because of its beefier graphics and the fact that the Switch 1 was such a big hit, you know how they crammed a ton of impossible ports onto the Switch. Like they made games that were not Doom, Witcher. The list is huge of impossible ports. This thing is even beefier now, and we know it's doing at least Xbox Series S graphics in what we've seen with Cyberpunk, for example. So this article is saying, get ready to see an influx of a shit ton of PlayStation 4 games,
Yep.
PS4 Pro games in particular with those assets. And then every Xbox Series S third-party game is probably going to make its way. Because if it can run on the Series S, then it should be very easy to just port down to the Switch. And we're probably going to see 5 years worth of older ports making their way over. And people, just for the fact to have it on Nintendo for the first time, so the people that only had Nintendo and missed out on those games are going to probably buy these games. And then those who want to take it portably and don't want to spend $600 on a Steam Deck, probably going to get it again.
Buy it twice.
So there's going to be a lot of these games that are coming out. They said there are 25 or so games on day one, and about 10 of them are already ports.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. They want to sell this console, so you got to make it. We spoke about how when they were making the Switch, I believe it was Capcom who said you need to put more RAM in it.
Yeah, and then, if we can't do it without this amount of RAM, then we can't put a game on your system.
Yeah,
they wanted it for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, and then we talked about how Sony had went to developers and said, "What do you need?"
Yeah.
To what do you need? And see all these games look better and come to PlayStation, right? So now it's like, all right, maybe there's a link to that. What do you need? And figuring out what the developers need to create the best versions of whatever they want. And now I think we just about to get it. We about to get it. They probably got just enough. And then we know that Nintendo was out there showing people Breath of the Wild running.
That Matrix PC demo was running on it.
Yeah, that was
something that was pushing PCs when they showed it off.
Yeah, they was showing off a lot. So they was going to those people and they was making deals directly. They was talking to them.
Like, it's capable.
Boots on the ground. And that's what you got to do. If you need third-party games to help sell your system as well. So,
of course,
it's definitely a plus. So,
who knows? The Wii U showed that off. Like, listen, you can be a great console with a cool concept, but if the third parties aren't on board, it's going to be tough to sell your system.
Yeah.
The GameCube also, even though the GameCube was fairly successful, it was in third place that generation, behind the original Xbox. Because it's the same thing. Those tiny discs made third-party support difficult.
Yeah.
They would have to split it into 2 discs. And the same thing, if it wasn't for the game key card that everybody is bitching about, we would not see a huge third-party support for the system. So apparently there's only one option, and we talked about this last time, but there's only one option for developers. With the Switch, there's an 8 gigabyte, a 16 gigabyte, a 32 gig, and a 64 gig card. And they're priced more and more as more space is granted to them. So that's why we saw a lot of games that were like, download is required. Because nobody wanted to buy a 32 gig card because it was expensive.
Yeah.
So apparently for this generation, Nintendo has 2 options. One is a 64 gigabyte card. And the other is the game key card. And that's it.
Yeah.
So it's make or break. If it wasn't for this game key card, I'm pretty sure that what you just said, they probably went to developers and said, this is the option for physical media. And they were like, we need something else because that 64 gig card is too much.
Yeah.
And so they probably came up with that compromise of, okay, game key card. It basically comes with the download code.
Yep, and they download it, and then boom, now it's playable.
Yeah, now it also appeases Walmart because they have something on the shelf.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm not. We're going to an all digital future. Anyways, it's happening. It's already here. So I'm not upset about key cards and all that type of stuff.
And even last gen, how many boxes of Switch games, and even not just Switch games, PS5 games and Xbox games, that when you put the disc in, there was nothing on it.
You got to download.
You still had to download 100 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's a good example of that. Like, you could probably play some of the single player stuff, but the rest of the game was not on the disc.
Yeah, you still got to download it. I can't remember the last time I bought a brand new game, popped it in, and it was playable.
Yeah, exactly. And and there wasn't like a huge, not just a patch either. Like you're literally downloading the game.
Yeah,
Street Fighter, was it Street Fighter like that? I think
Street
Street
Fighter
Fighter had,
6?
yeah, I think it had like a key on the disc and you downloaded the game. I think that was one of the controversies. It was either 6 or 5. I don't remember which one it was, but it was the controversy was that nothing was on the disc.
5 launch broken as fuck.
Yeah.
I barely played 5. That's how bad it was. Uh, I think it came with Ryu and maybe came with Ken, and that was it. If I remember correctly, I remember buying Akuma before I went to jail.
Mm.
But I was like, it was, and it didn't have. I think it had arcade mode, but didn't have versus, or it had versus, didn't have arcade. It was just weird, man. Street Fighter V was just a fuck up, and they
Yeah,
came out swinging with Street Fighter 6. And
absolutely.
played that.
And yeah, and we're gonna wrap up things with what you started off with. We're gonna, and one of your favorite subjects is to shit on Microsoft. So let's go.
You know,
And we're gonna end this to make Chris happy. By the way, I don't know if you saw the comments, but Sergeant America welcomed you back on the last podcast. He was happy to have you back. But yeah, the Xbox Series prices are set to rise by as much as 27%. Now I covered this. And this was when the video that I posted said, and it might have been clickbait, but also I thought it was hilarious. I said Microsoft steals a major exclusive from both PlayStation and Nintendo. And what was the exclusive? Raising the price of your system. Because at that point, they were the only ones that hadn't done it yet. It was a Sony and a Nintendo exclusive.
yeah,
But no. Let's take our last place system.
Jack the price.
Let's jack the price up. That'll get them.
Yeah,
That'll get them. Hey, listen, Microsoft. If you really want to be freaking geniuses, fine. It costs more to make the Xbox Series X. So make the disc version more expensive. That's the elite version. That's for the one who will pay it no matter. They will pay, exactly. They will pay it no matter what. You got them. You got
but
them.
everyone who already has an Xbox already bought an Xbox already.
So it's not really gonna hurt them that much.
It's really not.
But the digital Series S, listen, with the Switch 2 right around the corner,
PlayStation sale.
You're gonna make this thing cost as much as the Switch 2?
Stupid.
It's stupid. If you would have kept it $50 cheaper, $100 cheaper, and little Timmy, who is on a budget, went to Walmart with mom, and in the last 5 years they didn't get little. He's still playing his PlayStation 4 or his original Xbox One, and it's Christmas time, and they want to get him a system, and he really wants the PS5. But here it is: the PS5 is now $700, whatever the hell the PS5 Pro costs.
Yeah,
and there we got this. Yeah, and the Switch 2 is $450 with no game. Yeah. And there we have the Series S sitting at $299. That's a banger deal.
Yeah.
That's a banger deal. But $399, I think that's what it's going up to. Let's see. The cost of an Xbox Series S will change from $299 to $379.99. A whopping 27% increase. The Series X will go up from $499, which is looking like a bargain, to $599. A 5-year-old system makes a 20% bump. The most recent 2 terabyte Xbox Series X is now costing more than the PS5 Pro. At $730.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to laugh too hard because I know the PlayStation price.
It's coming. And they're going to do the drive too, by the way. The drive is going to cost $80 now. Mark my words.
Yeah.
You want to play your game on a disc? It's gonna be $80, and it's gonna cost you $900 to play a PS5 Pro. We're not there yet. The difference here. By the way, the PS5 Pro, if they do that, they're also shooting themselves in the foot because it's not selling. The base PS5 is still selling. The Pro is way behind in sales. Like Sony put out their numbers, it's way behind, and it's because it's already pricey, and it's digital only. So this Microsoft said, no, screw that. We're gonna keep going. The standard Xbox controller is now $65. That's up $5. The Series, that's not bad. The Series 2 Elite controller goes from $130 to $150.
That's already too much. 130 is too much.
130 is too much.
Maybe I need to play on the controller and see what it feel like. Pause, but that's too much.
There's no way it's $150 worth.
I don't know how much the PS5 Pro controller costs, but I looked at it. I think it's $100. It could be. I don't know, but I was like, that's still like
let's find out. Whatever it is, anything over $80 to me. For a controller, $80 is the line.
For a pro version with the extra paddles and all that type of shit.
Yeah, and now
I bought custom controllers, but now that Sony made their own custom controller, now it's like I don't want it no more.
Right. So we're talking about the DualSense Edge, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it's called.
DualSense Edge cost. It is new price at $169.98.
Yeah, so I could have bought it for cheaper. Now I really don't want it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the Switch 2 Pro controller, it has the programmable buttons and it's $80. And that's their version of, and that's my line.
Yeah.
And that's my line. Anyway, so let's keep going. They're not done there. There's not the Xbox Wireless Pro controller. The wireless controller is $69.99.
The one I take.
The special edition version is $80. The limited edition is now $89.99. The Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2, the core one, is $149, and the Elite Series 2 full is $199.99.
I'm paying $200 for a fucking controller. Kiss my ass.
The wired stereo headset is $64.99. That's the one that plugs into the controller.
Oh, wow.
And then the wireless headset is now $119.99.
And that's just to speak, not to game on.
Just your Xbox wireless headset to use Xbox Live and talk to your buddies.
Oh, my God.
Speaking to IGN, Microsoft told them, we understand that these changes are challenging, and they were made with careful consideration, given market conditions and the rising cost of, not tariffs, development. They are raising these prices because they bought Activision.
Yep. Gotta recoup. Gotta get that money back somehow.
And this is your Activision tariff, boys.
Yep.
That means that this holiday, this Call of Duty is going to be $80.
Yep. And then everyone who thought that Call of Duty was going to be exclusive,
those morons.
It's too big. Too big.
First of all, like Microsoft straight up told those idiots, we're going to put it on everything. They signed contracts. We know November's coming around. Switch 2 is going to get Call of Duty. Yep. Why? Because they signed a 10-year deal with both Sony. And they were like, maybe after the 10 years, it'll be exclusive. Well, we know what Microsoft is doing now. They're putting their shit on everything. So it's 100% not going to be exclusive. Yeah, that's a cash. Call of Duty is a cash cow.
Yeah.
It is a cash cow. There's no way that they would shoot. Oh my God. If they would have done that, it would have been stupid. But it is at the very least going to push Game Pass a little bit. Game Pass is still popular.
You see another price
popular
Game Pass coming soon?
What was that?
You see another price increase for Game Pass coming soon?
Oh yeah, I see it
They
going up
already
another.
locked down A&D to like the highest tier.
The echelon, yeah. I everything's gonna go up. And Sony announced in the same 20 countries that they raised the PS5 consoles. They also raised PS Plus.
Yeah,
So yeah, and that's, to me, that's ridiculous for them, because that's nothing but profit. They don't lose money on people subscribing to their service. That's definitely not a money loser.
yeah,
But that's corporate, greed and for their stockholders and all that. But yeah, I think all of them. I think all of them will probably go up, and Nintendo will probably go up for their online service, maybe next year or the year after, because they're giving people the free year for Switch 2. You're gonna get Nintendo Online for free for the first year.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Nah, that'd be dope, man.
Anyway, so that's all the big news that happened this week. If anybody out there lives in Japan and you want that $800 bundle, go search that out. You're probably gonna get a Switch too. By the time that we do our next show, man, the Switch 2 will be out, and we're gonna be officially into a new generation.
Yeah, hopefully I get to play it.
We'll see. I think there's gonna be plenty of consoles. I don't foresee it selling out like the way like the PS5 did, or even the Switch One. I don't see it being not in the stores for 3 months. I
Okay.
I think after the first month, I think you're gonna be able to just walk into a store and see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
That's a
think it'll
good.
be more than a month? Yeah,
The Switch was off the shelves the first couple months.
yeah, and I think that was a combination of a couple of things. Like they came off of weak Wii U console generation. Maybe they were playing it safe. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know. That neither here nor there. They still sold every single unit for an entire year. You know what I mean? Um, I think after the first, I think you're not going to see it the first month in the stores. I think it's going to be hard, with the rare exception here and there. But I think after month 2, judging from they've been manufacturing the thing for 6 months, I think we're going to see plenty of them on the shelf. And yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us here this week. And leave a comment. It helps out the channel, helps out the videos. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about, any changes. If you hate the video, leave a thumbs down. If you like it, thumbs up. And we will catch you guys in the next video.
Deuces.
Peace.